Okay, we are now on our fifth video. These are the Amoraim. Okay, Amoraim are anyone whose opinions, they come after the Tanaim. It's anyone whose opinions are going to be written down in the Gemara. They are called Amoraim. Okay, now keep in mind, we've been talking about the last two time periods, mostly in Eretz Yisrael. But during that entire time period, there was still a Jewish community in Bavel, in Iraq. Those were the descendants of the Jews who had not gone back to Eretz Yisrael with Ezra to rebuild the second base of Mikdash, and had decided to stay in Bavel. And there was a significantly large Jewish community in Bavel. Now, during this time, the Jews left Bavel, and they would go to Eretz Yisrael to study under the masters there. And then once they became tremendous scholars, once they became Talmidei Chachamim, these people in Bavel would move back to Eretz Yisrael. They would go to Eretz Yisrael to study, they would move back to Bavel, and they started their own yeshivas with interesting names like Pumpa and Pampadisa and Surah and Pampadisa, and those were the yeshivas in Bavel. Life in Bavel started getting great for the Jewish people. They were able to open these yeshivas, and as persecution started from the Romans in Eretz Yisrael, the center of Jewish life really changed to Bavel. Okay, and that's where mastery took place in Bavel. Okay, and this is during the time period of what's called the Amoraim, and that's where the Gemara is written. So they take all the discussions that once the Mishnah is published by Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, and that starts spreading, all the rabbis that come afterwards, all these scholars that come afterwards, who we call the Amoraim, they live in Bavel, and all of their discussions for the next, let's say, 5 or 6 generations, those discussions are going to be written down in what's called the Gemara. Okay, that's called the Gemara, and those are written down inside what's going to be called the Talmud or the Bavel, and the Gemara. This is called Talmud Bavli. At the same time, another Talmud is being written in Israel. We don't study it as much. That's called the Talmud Yerushalmi, after Yerushalayim. Okay, the Gemara are the discussions about the Mishnah that took place from the rabbis that are called Amoraim. Okay, that's what the Gemara is. Okay, so life in Bavel was great in terms of Torah scholarship, was really surpassing that of Eretz Yisrael, especially since a lot of the Jews could not succeed in Eretz Yisrael anymore because of persecution of the Romans. And during this time, this is when the Gemara is written by two people named Ravina and Ravashi. And the Gemara are the discussions that the Amoraim have about the Mishnah that was written by the Tanaim. These two Tekufos and the names, Tanaim and Amoraim, I'm going to expect you to know, so make sure you have it down pat. Tanaim are all those quoted in the Mishnah. Amoraim are the people that came after the Tanaim, and they are listed inside the Gemara, all their discussions in the Gemara. Okay, you can now answer the questions.